welcome to DIY Roll, episode 13, where there's only one rule: you drink what you roll. But there's only that much left. So I'm thinking if we hit a 5 or more, we might just have to neck it. So yeah, that's what we'll do. Anyway, been a lovely day, so welcome to the show. If you couldn't tell, I was being sarcastic. Actually, it turned out not too bad today. Started off not so great, but such is life, right? So, on so many screens with my face on it, this is freaking me out. Anyway, without further ado, let's do the roll part of DIY Roll. Ragweed that normally shows up in July has decided to show up at the end of August, which is why the is going on. So pardon me, but the stuff still comes into your system, and if you take an allergy pill to stop the reaction, that doesn't stop the stuff from coming into your system. So then when the allergy pill wears off and the reaction comes back, all the stuff that you haven't blown out because you haven't been doing it, your body hasn't been reacting to it, gets massively worse. So the allergy pill would have made me not sniff now, but about 3 o'clock in the morning would have been horrific. Like, and that's way worse. So we'll just have to deal with a sniffle or two. Let's get on to something that's not so bleh. 5. Well, we made the conditional rule. Guess we won't be needing that. Really? Where? Give it a shake. So, how many people are watching? And live chat, please. Is anybody talking? No, nobody's talking. Let's get those likes happening. There's one. So, hello, other person. Yeah, so if you're just tuning in, 5. I don't know if we have enough for 5 shots left, so the 5 or 6 rule was you have to drink the bottle. By the way, there are no 5 or 6 left, so we're going to have to go with 4, because there just are none of the more complicated ones. So anyway, kanpai. 1 or sips? Yeah, probably 1, right? Things I do for entertainment. Oh. Okay. That was a lot at once. Okay. And the only one left that's slightly complicated. Oh, another one of the crazy sugarfish. We're definitely going to need the water for that one. Oh, my nose is itchy. If you don't have allergies, seasonal allergies, you just don't know. When normally you're nice and, normal, you can breathe, stuff like that. And then for a certain time of the year, not so much. So I'm assuming these are going to be the pink fish with our fishing rod. You really shouldn't be so confident that I know what I'm doing, because maybe I don't. Okay. Put the string in them all. Note to self, it is easier if you wet the string. I told you that last time. That was a tip for anybody else who's doing one of these. Then, a scoop of powder in each fish shape. There are 4 fish shapes. We saw that before. It's probably all blown out. If we tilt it at an angle, you can sort of make out the shapes. See, the string goes do round. And then a little scoop of water in each one. And reef it out like crazy. I mean, that's what they show. But they also show that the kid who's doing it is about this tall. So you should pull it with less strength. See, it's showing pink here, but in the end it's showing blue. Which the blue ones would probably be like that blue fizz Ramune flavor, which would be cooler than pink. Because the pink is just sugar flavor. It's the problem of doing it that way. I've got sake in my mustache. Sounds like a badly written Japanese blues song. I've got sake in my mustache. Anyway, okay, so we want to put some water in the lid here without spilling it. Have been some interesting, good developments in the last few days as well. Also, this weekend, going to African Lion Safari, maybe the Toronto Zoo. We're not sure yet which one because both of them obviously are still limited number of people are allowed in, and you have to book in advance. So I left that up to my co-conspirator, so I don't know which one we're going to. Okay, you got to get the string all the way down in there, which is why I say to wet it, because it tends to sit a little better if it's wet. And then around here. Okay, then down there, then down there, and then in there. And you're saying, well, what are these developments? What happened? What's the new thing? And so, you know what? I just don't want to say in case I jinx it. Because it could be, see that puff of powder? Oh yeah, when did this one expire? We have been checking that lately. Expiry date, 2019 October. Almost a year ago. Poof. And it is once again the pink powder. Okay, so I don't think I read last time the whole 1 scoop in each one. But that is working a little better, actually putting it slowly with the scoop in instead of just dumping it. Go figure. The instructions actually tell you a good way to do it. What is this, IKEA furniture? I already know instructions. That's a lie. Anyone who knows me knows that is completely a lie. I am very much a big one for getting the instructions and following. Okay, it's kind of, I don't know, is this weird? Do you do this? When I'm going to get something, I will first go online and download the manual and see how to use it before I ever get it. Anybody? Anybody? Just me? That only counts as one shot, Balthazar. Come on. If I had more sake, I would go get it. But that's the last right now. I have to buy more. I have no doubt that the blue would be just sugar flavor too. I'm a little surprised you're doing this kit a second time. Tokyo Treat sent them in the boxes. Obviously, they sent this one almost 2 years ago. So they've just been collecting. I didn't take duplicates out. But this is the last of the ones that I'd sorted in the medium difficulty of the 3 4s. All I have left are the really simple ones that are like stick the candy on a stick and dip it in the goo sort of ones. That's all that's left. So, yeah. Definitely have to go to Japan and get some more. Either that or next time we are in the Asian store, the TNT Market. That's our Asian grocery store here, which is apparently a subsidiary of Loblaws. It's definitely a subsidiary of Loblaws because when I was in Zehrs the other day, actually I was in Value Mart, which is a subsidiary of Zehrs, which is a subsidiary of Loblaws. Loblaws is our big grocery store chain here in Canada. They had TNT branded stuff in the Value Mart, so that does mean that they're all tied together in one giant food conglomerate. Conspiracy theorists, make of that what you will. Okay, so these fish are definitely more artistically set up than last time. Wow, and almost all the powder is gone. Look at that. It's like they knew how much to put in there. Okay, so it says little scoop of water for each fish. I'm pretty sure that's not what I did last time. I think I had to... It wasn't happening fast enough for me last time. I think that's what was happening. So I see there are 4 people watching now. Welcome to the show. And thank you for watching. Okay, here we go. Water on number 1. 1 scoop. I probably should try and spread it out here. Okay, maybe it's enough. Yeah, look at that. Again, the instructions were correct. It's actually funny. You can see me in focus. You can hear me. The only real downside was I don't think that was 5 shots. But also, I've noticed, unfortunately, my tolerance for alcohol seems to be going back up, which really kind of sucks because it's nice when your alcohol tolerance is low and you can drink one drink and sort of already be feeling it a bit. Whereas now I do 5 shots of sake and it's like, nothing. I mean, something, but you know what I mean? And I have another event after this one, so it won't be ukulele night. But next week, I don't have anything else coming. That's not enough water. So maybe I will have the ukulele next week. Yeah, because I've restrung the kala with the low E, low G? Yeah, low G option. Told you about it. I think this is the third show in a row that I told you about it, and yet still haven't shown you it. So that's kind of naughty, but there we go. Wow, I'm getting a real strong grape smell. Was it grape smell last time? It might have been. I don't remember for sure. But to be honest right now, I wish there was another third bottle of that. We might have to up the shots. We might have to make it a D8 instead. Or D6, D4 plus 2, so the minimum is 3? Maybe? We'll see. We'll see. We'll figure that out as we go. I mean, because right now it shows a D6 in all my graphics, and I would have to change all the graphics to a D4. And a 4-sided die is not something that a lot of people would recognize. So, maybe not. So, how long should we wait? I don't know. Tokyo Tower, by the way, in case you didn't know. I think everyone who's watching either has been to Japan or likes Japan or knows about Japan to know that's Tokyo Tower. It should be white and red. This one glows in the dark, so I've been very tempted to like dry brush red on it so red would get on the surface but not in the crevices, so it would be red, but then when you turn the lights out it would glow greenish, which really is wrong because when they light up Tokyo Tower at night they light it up orange. So it's like kind of like a big flame. It's a really neat thing if you've ever seen pictures of it at night. As a matter of fact, the Tokyo Treat unboxings that I do, the new intro, you can see Tokyo Tower out the window of the opening. I mean, obviously not the real Tokyo Tower because that's all CG done by me. Looks pretty good. That box looks really good. Yeah, waiting. I don't know how long you have to wait. I can't remember how long quickly it solidifies. Oh, it's solid already. Is that one solid? Nope, that one is not. Nope, gotta wait a little bit more. 2 of the fish are good. This fish I did third should be all right. Yep, it's just the one. If I get, oh, there we go. Okay, the 4 fish. Oh, see, the water didn't quite penetrate. It did almost a perfect job. So this is, yeah, October 2019. Wow, October 2019. We were in Japan at the end of October 2019 and came back early November to snow. And it had been 21 degrees in Japan, in Tokyo. So it was not fun to come back to Canada and going through winter. And at that point, we were sure we were going back to Japan in the spring for cherry blossoms because Emily, the friend who traveled with me in October, November, hadn't really got a good chance to see them when she was there, when she was on her university exchange. So it was kind of an important thing. And then, no, maybe we're going to do Halloween. That was the next plan, Halloween the next year in 2020. And then March 2020 became a dumpster fire. And so now it looks like, unless things get worse, 2021 spring. So cherry blossoms next year. That's the hope. I'm not putting this off. I know these taste all right. I'm just chatting with y'all. So here we go. Tasting the slightly powdery fish. Oh no, that one died. And put powder in my eye. Thank you. Stupid squid. Again, there's more grape in the smell of it when you're making it than there is in the taste. There's a little bit of the grape aftertaste. It's mostly just sugar. It's like powdered sugar that congeals into this. It's obviously chemicals. These things are all chemicals. I don't know which chemicals they are or how they do it. But, Number 2, squid. Oh, the power. The unliquid hit powder is kind of bitter. Sour. Tart, if you will. Okay. And number 3's got powder all over it. Which one is that? Is that the sea bream? It might be. And the other one looks like a ray, I think, because it's got fins on both sides. Yeah, the powder is bitter. So, but then it's sweet. Again, miracles of modern chemistry. And this is made out to be a little... I don't know if it's supposed to be a bamboo fishing rod or just supposed to be a modern collapsible fishing rod. I mean, because they've got the whole knurled grip on it and everything, so it's probably supposed to be just the modern collapsible style. Yeah, I used to fish. I don't anymore, but I used to. But I don't really like the taste of a lot of fish, so it was kind of pointless. And then it was more about just hanging out on the river rather than catching anything. There was not beer involved just because I don't like the taste of beer. And I didn't ever think, I mean, rum, I need really a mixer for it. And anyway, completely pointless. Last fish. They're not bad though. Like a reverse sweet tart. Bitter tart. Okay, a little bit. Only in the powder though. Like once the water hits it and it solidifies, it's sugary, really sweet. It's just the powder is bitter. Which again, I don't understand how it can be bitter and then water turns it sweet. Maybe it's aspartame or something. I don't know. They don't. Well, I don't. They probably do say what kind of chemicals are in it. Maybe they say it there, or maybe they say it there, but my kanji is not up to reading that in any way, shape, or form. Gomen nasai, chie sensei. But yeah, unfortunately, that's pretty much all we got. Oh, my nose is so itchy. Allergies. If you don't have them, be glad. There are just all things considered, there are a lot of worse things that people have to deal with than seasonal allergies. But when normally everything is fine, even the little things make you kind of whiny. Try not to too much, but yeah, it's not fun. But it's not that bad either. If that's the worst that I have to deal with, well, okay. I mean, it's certainly not going to the hospital in Japan in the middle of the night kind of deal. I don't know if I suppose we could tell that story because it's a funny story. More so now than it was at the time. Because at the time it was like, I think even at the time I was more annoyed than anything because it wasn't the first time it happened. Anyway, way back, early 2018, having some real weird pains in my chest. I thought it had to do with VR sickness. And I thought, I had been fine for a while, but finally the VR sickness caught up with me because it seemed a couple times I had been using the VR headset and after this had happened, I'm pretty sure they were unrelated. I know they were unrelated. It was just coincidence. Anyway, so later on, it started happening again. And I figured, okay, if this lasts for more than an hour, I'm going to have to go to the hospital. Ended up walking to the hospital. They did all the tests and everything. People came to visit me. It was kind of freaked people out. Gallbladder issues. And like, yeah, we looked with the ultrasound. We can't find any, so we're not sure. Maybe you passed it. We don't know. Probably That was the worst. That was the height of the pain that time. I think I may have just gotten inured to it as time goes on. Time went on. Excuse me. I mean, screw my tenses in English, let alone in Japanese. So you're fine, okay. A few months later, happened again. Back to the hospital, middle of the night. It never happens like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was always a middle of the night sort of thing. So back to the hospital, and they say, yeah, you know how we didn't find any last time? We found lots of them this time. So you're going to need to have it out. The surgeon will call you. Here's it. If they don't call you, call the hospital. It was kind of, we call you, you call us, we call you sort of thing. And I called, and nobody at the hospital seemed to know what was going on, but I couldn't get past admissions to the proper people because they didn't give me a phone number. And I figured, okay, if the surgeon's not calling me back, maybe it's not as big of an issue as seemed, right? But the first time I went in, the only thing the doctor told me was low-fat diet. So I switched. I'd already been drinking Skill Mix, so I switched over to a low-fat diet. And at this point, I think people are saying from looking at me that I've probably lost about 100 pounds. So, yeah. I mean, but cool, that's a good thing. I noticed a lot of positive health benefits from losing that weight, so I really can't complain. Yeah, I'm aware of that, Balthazar, that spring in Japan would be even worse. But I do notice that the days that I have to go to work or something, so I have to wear a mask all the time, nothing. So it might just be for when the pollen season goes on, just wear a damn mask. Even if you don't need to wear a mask for other things that are going on. Anyway, back to the story. So I figured everything was okay. So nothing else happened for months, and it got to be the point where I'm going to Japan. Nothing as bad has gone on. So good, we're all cool. So go to Japan, 2 weeks. In the second week, one of the nights, I was lucky enough to meet with Shinichi and Satoshi from Tabi Eats, and I from Eyes Munchies. We all got together one night and went out for dinner. It was really neat, and I had stuff for them, and it was a really nice time. It was a great evening. I had a lot of fun, even though it was kind of hard. There were some issues finding it every day, and up until that point, Google Maps had not let me down once. This time, Google Maps was like, "What, Japan? I don't know of Japan." Thanks a lot, Google Maps. Just when people are actually expecting me to be there. Anyway, so the dinner was great. Actually, you can see footage of them in one of the videos. And that night, I wake up middle of the night. You figured like the time would be reversed, so my body would know, and it would have been in the day. But no, middle of the night in Japan. Oh my God, it's happening again. So I go down with my hardly any Japanese to the poor desk clerk. Oh, he's probably kid in his maybe early 20s. I say, you probably think, no, yeah, to me, like kid, looked really young. He might have been younger than that. Poor kid's got this old gaijin going, Byoin, because I knew the word for hospital, but I couldn't really tell them any more than that. My phone, obviously, I had a Japanese SIM card for data only, not for calling, so I couldn't call anybody. And if I put in my regular SIM card, when I first got to Japan, was saying roaming. Now nothing there. Wasn't even giving me roaming, so there's no way I could call anybody. So I'm texting people, help, 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 while the poor kid at the desk is trying his best to find a hospital that can take somebody who speaks English. Ended up being the university teaching hospital. So I'm waiting there. The ambulance pulls up. I think the ambulance guys were a little shocked because of how the kid had described my condition. He thought it was pretty bad, and there I am standing there. I think they thought I was going to be sprawled out on the ground going, "Aah!" But no. Anyway, so go into the ambulance on the gurney. So off the list of experiences I've had, I've ridden in an ambulance in another country, no less. So they're interviewing me about what's going on. And they don't speak English. Neither one of those really speak English. So he's typing it into his phone and showing it to me to get me to answer. And I'm answering in Japanese when I can to try and help him. No, you have to answer in English. I guess, I don't know if they were training or what. But so he's good, but he's putting him right here, and I can't really focus on him. So thank goodness the phone is also speaking it. So it's speaking that, where is the pain? And this, and are you in? How is this? And I'm just answering as best I can. And so finally he types one in, and before he can show it to me, his phone goes, "I'm sorry for asking you all these questions." And then we go, "No, daijoubu desu," which is, it's okay. And all the driver and the guy sitting with, they still breaking out laughing because that's hilarious because I'm answering in Japanese, the English. So it was sort of a funny situation there. So I get to the hospital and they get me in. I had an MRI, so there's another first. I had never had an MRI up until that point, and they're doing tests to try and figure out what it was because none of them know what gallbladder means. Because I know what the problem is. I'm telling them gallbladder, but they don't know what it means. Just a week ago, 2 weeks ago, somewhere around there, my Japanese teacher, Chie Sensei, she helped me figure out exactly what it is. I don't remember now, of course, but we finally figured out what it is, how to say it in Japanese. But I didn't know at the time, so I'm trying to tell them, and I'm sure they don't know what's wrong with me. So they're just, it's a student hospital, so they're pulling out all the stops. They're doing everything they can, probably because they get to learn on the machines because they're doing it. So what am I at on time? Got to watch here because I've got other things to do. Okay, lots of time to ramble on as the alcohol continues to flow through my system. So they're going through it. They do the MRI. They hook me up to some drugs. I will say the drugs that they hooked me up to weren't as good as the drugs in Canada as for pain and just putting me out and getting rid of the pain. The ones in Canada were like, okay, we'll hook you up with the IV now. Okay, good stuff. Put me out, and so I actually got some sleep. Anyway, so I did get sleep because every once in a while I would sort of wake up as I guess I was tossing and turning a bit, and I would feel them lifting my feet and untangling the cables from my feet. But I would wake up and look up, and it is a stereotype, but they were all shorter. And they're all young because they're all they're qualified, but they're sort of like still student learning age type thing. So I keep looking up and looking like I'm being attended by a bunch of 12-year-old kids, which was, I know it's not, but it's what it looked like, which is a little freaky making, even though I knew, no, that's fine. Everybody's fine. So the doctor finally comes to sit down with me. He spoke English very well. And tells me what's going on. He prescribed me some scary medications. He's telling me it does this, but it also can do this and this to your system. So I'm going to prescribe you this one that'll combat what that's doing to you, and this one what's combating what the other one is doing to you. So, yeah, okay, maybe not going to take those, because they're trying to do it for the pain and everything. Only once the attack is over, the pain is gone. It doesn't stay. So, but he said you either can have it out here, or you can have it out when you get back home, but you have to have it out. Which I sort of was hoping for anyway, but I was on my second to last day in Japan, and I didn't want to try and be in Japan and figure out how to get my flight changed to get back at a later date and all that sort of stuff. So I figured it's feeling better now. I'll have it out when I get home because the attacks don't come boom, boom, boom. They're spaced months apart. So I get out of there. Now, I only had the slippers from the hotel on my feet and the clothes I was wearing from the night before that were none too clean by this point after all the shenanigans that had gone on. And you have to pay at the hospital. And I don't have money on me because I have my wallet, but it has hardly any money on me because So I'm, again, madly texting. Thank God it was 9 a.m, so it was 9 p.m. here, so people weren't asleep. So I'm like, somebody help me. I'm going to need money. I don't know what to do. And I get to the guy who's, I'm dealing with this older Japanese woman who maybe a little taller than this. She was tiny. And she was hunched over and she would scurry. She's like, so stereotypical Japanese. Just all the bad stereotypes that you're thinking in your head, could apply them all to this woman and they were all true. It's just that's how she was. So every sentence would start with, maybe so you go here, maybe so we do this. And trying, just, it's been a night. And this was actually kind of, and I'm being as polite as possible, I'm pretty sure she thought I wasn't going to come back and pay the money. And because I'm giving them all the money I have, I gave them $30 worth as a down payment. I'll give you this now, and they write a receipt for that. And so but before that, I go over to the window, and they said, yeah, okay, and you're going to have to pay $50,000. And he pauses, and I swear this pause seemed to go on for 5 years as my heart starts beating really hard, and I think $50,000. Oh my God. Then he goes, yen. I just go, whew. Okay. The easiest way to translate yen, it's not exact, but the easiest way to translate yen to dollars is just knock off the last two, move the decimal point 2 over. So 50,000 becomes $500. It's like, you know what? I've got that in my savings at home. I can handle that. Oh, I can make that, or if not, whatever. I can deal with that. But I don't have that on me. So, again, slippers, none too clean. Trying to get Google Maps to remember where I am now because I have to find the way back here. And I have to walk, I think it was 7 blocks to the nearest station to get on a train in my slippers and my looking really fine after being in a hospital all night with the tags and the things and the stuff and the yeah. I'm sure I was the talk of everybody at the office later that you will not believe this gaijin I saw this morning when I was coming into work. So do arrange. Somebody's going to wire me the money. You can go to a 7-Eleven and draw the money out on your Canadian bank account. Good thing to know. Good travel thing to know for you. The bank machines at the 7-Eleven will access your overseas bank account, so you can do banking in the 7-Eleven if you can't figure anything else out and are strapped for cash, but you have some. Yaha. So we get that arranged, and I've got to get to the hospital before 1 o'clock is what they originally said. When I get there, they say, oh, you could have waited till 3 o'clock. But this is fine. So I'm getting up, and I have to find a 7-Eleven. Weirdly, where I am at the Appa Hotel Nippuri Ekimai, which means in front of the station, it is like steps from a subway station on the Yamanote line, which is a great line. The trains in Japan are awesome. Absolutely awesome. You will not be able to have me say anything bad about them. They're so good. They're on time. They stop exactly where they're going to stop. It's good. Sweep your card. Wham! Just go through it. You feel like you're in the future, really. And it's just how things should be done. Anyway, all that aside. So there are Lawson stations. There are, what's the other one? Wow, my favorite one. Lawson's, 7-Eleven. What? Come on, Balthazar. What's the third? Konbini. What's the other big one? Why can't I remember it now? Brain has gone. Anyway, doesn't matter. The 7-Eleven is really hard to find for some reason. So I had to go quite a ways to find a 7-Eleven. I finally get one. Go in there. You figure I would have known because of the other disappointment that was at a 7-Eleven as well. That's a whole different story. We'll maybe talk at another time. Anyway, so I get there. I draw the money out. I get back to the hospital, looking much better, might I add. And I'm waiting, and I pay, but I have to get the receipt and everything for insurance because thank you, Gina, said, you should probably get the insurance. And it wasn't much more money to get it, and thank God I had it because I thought they would pay it, but no, you have to pay it and then they pay you back sort of thing. So that's why I had to get the money, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I have to get the receipt and everything. I'm just completely, it's bugging the hell out of me that I can't remember the third Konbini chain. The third big one, not like Newsday, which was in all the stations that had those chicken onigiri that were so good. And with the Georgia Ole and chicken onigiri, getting on the Shinkansen, going somewhere. Tangent. So get to there and pay the money, but I need the receipt. I need the receipt. I don't know how to say that in Japanese, and I didn't think to look it up, and Google Translate is whacked. So I'm not even going to try and get them to say it, and I haven't learned enough on my own because I wasn't doing tutoring or anything like I am now. So I'm trying, and I thought I saw the woman that I talked to before, but it wasn't because they're wearing masks, so you only see like this much of them and her hair, and she was small and she looked like the same woman, but it wasn't the same woman. I know, it's just, people that look kind of similar. It wasn't like she was Japanese and all Japanese people look the same. No, it was like she was a tiny Japanese woman and had the mask, and I could only see this much of her, and then her hair, and the hair was the same, and the height was the same. I thought it was the same woman, but obviously wasn't. Anyway, so they're saying, I'm saying, I need a receipt, I need a receipt, and she just points over, go over there. And she says, number of Junana. Okay, 17. I see the number 17, so I go over there. So I'm waiting. And there's not really a line, so I don't know what's going on. So I'm sort of standing there trying to because I don't want to be that annoying gaijin cutting in front of people. So I'm just waiting, and the woman at the desk waves me over. Come on over. She was young again, and she says something in Japanese, so she doesn't know any English at all because she's seeing me and not trying another language. So I'm uh-oh. And so I'm pointing at the part of the thing that says receipt. That like the medical report, copy of the medical report. I'm pointing that I paid for that. I need this, and it's not coming through. And I think she's at like language barrier, in which is so at the end of like a couple of minutes, there's "Gomen nasai wakarimasen," which is basically, I'm sorry, I don't understand. They go to get somebody else, and it's the little lady. Again, yay, because she speaks English, okay. And she goes, what are you doing here? And I said, they told me to come here. I said, no, you need to go over there and pay. No, and it's like, no, I've already paid. And I show her the receipt. Yeah, I've already paid. I just need the medical report. She said, no, you don't need to go here. You need to go over there where you were before, where you got treated. Oh, so she brings me over there, talks to the person and says, that's what I need. And she said, it'll be a few minutes, just wait here on the bench. So I'm waiting there on the bench, and the paramedic from the ambulance happens to be walking by then, and his English is like Family Mart. Thank you, Balthazar. Family Mart. That's the one that I couldn't remember. Also, tip, if you play Pokemon Go, 7-Eleven show up in the game as Pokestops. Yeah, I think you told me that before, but I had been up all night and then crashed. I don't think I was thinking all that clearly, and stress and everything, but thank you. That is a good tip. You're right. The 7-Eleven and McDonald's is another one that shows up all the time. And SoftBank also. So there's some benefits to Pokemon Go, which, I do play. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, and the paramedic comes up, and he's, oh, hey, are you okay? One of the things he does know in English. Like, he didn't know a lot of English, but he did know some. I guess he just didn't know all those big medical questions. He knew like a little bit of conversational English, sort of the way I know some conversational Japanese, but if he wanted to say anything detailed, I would be like, chicken. People will know that. I can tell that story another time. Oh, my voice is going, this is bad. I have to do a whole bunch more talking. Anyway, so they get me the medical report, and then I take the train back to the hotel. Don't do anything else that day. I basically just crashed out and do nothing because, blew out a day. And I had intended to go back to the Maid Cafe that day. Excuse me, now I'm getting burps from that weirdo candy. I told them that I was coming back, and at this point, it wasn't very busy. It was much busier when Emily and I went back there the following year. 6 months later. Yeah, same year. Anyway, so that annoyed me that I told them that I was coming back, and then I didn't. And it's, stupid guy Jin breaks his promises sort of thing, which bugged me. So I did go the next day. Anyway, so, that was the story. Didn't have it out. But, follow-up, back in Canada, they had, and another act up, like 2 days after I got back, acted up again, back to the hospital. I was only there for a couple hours. I don't know if they were busy or what, but it was like, you seem to be fine now, so you just go home. And I'm thinking, no, you should not be saying that. You should be saying we have to take this out. I know it has to come out. Everyone knows it has to come out. I don't know what's going on there. We'll get there. So I come up with the really stupid plan. This is the really stupid plan. Do not do this. So, if a low-fat diet is keeping me healthy, keeping me safe, what about if I go back to a high-fat diet? So I'm eating Baconators and having Starbucks Frappuccinos full fat with the cream and everything. Sure enough, 3 days later, this plan was probably not, it's working, but maybe I'll die, so maybe it wasn't working. Do not do this. But it flamed up, it flared up, and I get to the hospital again, and they check me in, do the whole thing. And it's different this time. Like, they're not just doing some tests and then coming. They actually sent me away, said, okay, you need to go drink these fluids because we're going to do this test, and then you need to come back at 9 o'clock in the morning. And so that's never happened before. Okay, so I do that and come back, and they put me in the MRI second time now in the I don't know if it was MRI or something else because they had to have the dye and everything. And yeah, so they wheel me out in there, and I'm parked in a hallway. And the nurse comes by, and he says, has the doctor talked to you yet? And I said, no, I haven't seen anybody yet. And he says, there's things I have to do, but I can't do anything until the doctor talks to you. At which point I go, huh? I'm not going home. And I'm thinking, yes, it worked. They're going to operate. Thank God, because I don't want to keep going through this for years. You know, so, yeah. Doctor talks to me, says, yeah, we definitely, yeah, it's coming out. I don't know why back in like 6 months ago, whenever, I don't know why they sent you home then. They shouldn't have let you go because they gave me the option. You could either have it out, or it doesn't seem to be that, or you could go and and I thought, I don't really want to be missing. If they give you the option to have it out right then. Don't let other considerations. I'm telling you, if this sort of thing happens to you, don't say, oh, maybe I'll wait. Do not wait. Trust me. So yeah, so the doctor says that, so we're going to admit you, and we're going to operate as soon as we can. It's going to be sometime in the next few days. And then the nurse comes back and he says, I don't know how you got here, because I've seen people with gallbladders half as bad as yours is that can't get up off the floor. I don't know how you got here. And I'm thinking it's just because it had happened enough times that I sort of was used to that level of pain, maybe. Other women have said, who've had that and childbirth, have said they would rather have another child than have the gallbladder thing. So I guess it hurts. Anyway, so yeah, they had it out. So just before they have it out, the surgeon tells me, okay, so we're going to have it out. It's badly inflamed. It has definitely perforated at least once before. What? Yeah, and it's healed badly, and there's gangrene in there. What? So, yeah. So it was very much worse than the worst case scenario that I thought it was. So again, do not wait if this happens to you. So the one thing this is like, not thinking straight sort of thing. The one thing I told him was like, do your best to do the little incision down here, because I either have a little incision down here, but if it goes badly, I might have to take the whole side and take it out that way. And you'll be out for 6 weeks. I can't afford to be out of work for 6 weeks because I don't have any kind of insurance or anything to cover that. So he said, I will do my best. Got to watch the time. Wow, this stream has gone long and probably a boring story. Wow, there's even more people watching. Hey, thanks for watching. Anyway, so they go in there and they do manage to get it that way. Now, my sister warned me about this, that they pump you full of air to be able to get at it, to get things, to maneuver around in there. And he did manage to get it. I do know the surgery took twice or 3 times as long as they were expecting it to take. So it was serious enough. And it's gone now. And I have a nice scar right here. All the other ones you can't even really, they were really tiny. You can't even see them. I can feel the one that went in my belly button. The scars, you could feel it there, the hard scar tissue. The other ones seem to pretty much disappeared. It's only the one right here. So it's not a cool scar either. It just sort of looks like the skin is folded. It's not got stitches. It's not like a really gnarly scar. It's nothing, like these two. So it's out. It's good. And I don't ever have to worry about it again. I didn't change back to eating the foods I ate before because I had switched over. And surprisingly, once you go to a healthier diet, you really don't want to go back. The biggest one that I noticed was fast food. I used to eat fast food, order pizzas, get burgers, that stuff all the time, like 2 or 3 times a week probably, if not more some weeks. Now, I have a burger from a fast food joint. I have pizza. I can only eat a slice of pizza now. I can't eat a pizza the way I used to, which is probably a good thing. But a burger, pizza, anything like half hour later, I feel like crap. And I'm thinking, okay, if it makes me feel like this now, what was it doing to me back then when I ate it all the time? Did I just feel like crap all the time and I didn't notice because that's just how it was? A little bit of a life lesson there. So, after a long rambling story that was either interesting or not, hopefully I'm definitely a lot of fast talking and now I got to do 3 more hours of talking after this. This was a good plan, my friend. Anyway, so, yeah, that's it for DIY roll, where there's only one rule. You drink what you roll. No, there's only one rule. You drink what you roll. And we'll see you next week, 7 p.m. from now on. Thanks for watching. Bye.